Silent of fall! Lakewood are doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Burning alone with a double kill. Dropping fast, Monovoid's there. He's still alive! Wait, oh, seconds left. He's going one side, he's going a second. He's taking it out. Oh my god! On three! They're all dead!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Summit 2 by G2A.com. I'm LD. He's changed shirts. He's no longer a ghost. We've brought the real Merlini back to life. And let's see. It's time now for Compass Gaming versus Alliance. Compass Gaming now 2-1 after a bit of a beatdown at the hands of Navi. Is that fair to say? Yeah. Okay. You're not chatty today?
That was fair.
Okay. Well, it's time for Alliance now. They're also making their debut here today in the Summit. They are 0-0, looking for their first win. And with that, actually, yeah, we can. Oh no, he doesn't have the draft here. Okay, I guess we're doing it the normal way. So Compass on the die.
I think he just hid all the ways to do it, so you look like a noob.
Yeah, Coddle guy hid the draft.
It's like, Coddle guy, please return.
Dude, I was like, set me up with your soundboard, man. I got some good effects, and then he took all my good effects, and he didn't give me the soundboard.
Wow.
Coddle, dude.
Stolen.
Coddle, not a bro. Confirmed. All right, Alliance first pick, and it's a first pick Crystal Maiden.
Crystal Maiden's highly underrated.
One of Ake's old signature heroes, but there was that nerf where her base intelligence was reduced, so it made her jungling a lot less efficient early on. But she got buffed recently. What was I know her ultimate's much stronger now.
It procs twice as fast on creeps, I think. It's something pretty minor, I'd say.
Oh, frostbite damage interval was also changed. That's from 70 per 1 second to 50 per 0.5 seconds. So it's
nice
gotten
damage.
like it's gone to like 100 damage per second basically instead of 70. So that helps her jungling quite a bit, especially against neutrals who it lasts much longer on.
It also makes her skill build a lot more difficult too. A lot of people just maxed Crystal Nova first, but I think Max Frostbite is generally slightly safer just because it provides a little bit better lockdown. But if you need AoE, Crystal Nova's your spell. So Compass going with a much more standard Death Prophet Skywrath lead-in rather than their last game Ogre Magi and Anti-Mage. Death Prophet Skywrath, not too much to say about these two heroes.
Yeah, they might look at that game and say, you know what, our strat got a little bit figured out, and we may want to change things up. Kind of save that for a rainy day, not go into it right away. What's Alliance been running lately? Have you seen them much?
4 Protect 1. A lot of 4 Protect 1.
Yeah, that's right. I saw the load of Anti-Mage, the load of Terrorblade, the load of Naga. Occasionally a Bulldog Prophet mixed in, although not as much lately. I'd love to see them run the new lone Druid with the Monopole. I've seen some Mask of Madness pairs. Pretty scary early on.
Not bad.
Yeah, you can't really rat as hard. It's more of a... I mean, you can rat with it, but it's more of an early fighting build, it seems.
I personally still think Radiance is king, but he has like a lot of attack speed, so some of the attack speed things... It's weird. Itemization on the bear is always strange, but we shall see. Naga, first ban from Compass as well as Terrorblade. They are very, very well known for running those two. And the Slark ban, too. I don't know enough about Compass to know like why there's first banning Shaker last game, first banning Slark this game, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. I hope they know what they're doing.
You don't sound. I'm sure they know what they're doing. I hope they know what they're doing. Maybe they know what they're doing. They probably.
I was like, oh yeah,
no idea what. They're
I remember
doing.
when it was like PPD versus Vici or something, or EG versus Vici, and PPD was drafting, and I was like, oh, I think he knows what he's doing because he let Panda slip through.
Yeah.
He was second pick. He didn't pick up Panda in the first 3 picks, and then he just let Vici pick. I was like, I hope he knows what I think he knows what he's doing. There's no way that he doesn't see the Panda pick coming, and then they got demolished by the Panda, and I was like, I don't know about that.
Faith is quickly being lost.
So Bristleback is cool. It is a nice solution versus very aggressive supports because you just turn your back, and then in the meantime you just put a lot of pressure on the off laner, or on the safe lane farmer rather, and that's a thing that a lot of heroes can't do. Maybe like Centaur and Bristleback, which is why they've been insanely popular.
Great Crimson Guard builder, great Vanguard builder. Fantastic little pickup on the Bristleback. You know, the one thing though is with the increase in mana cost to mech, he's not really a great mech.
Crystal Maiden.
Oh, that's true, actually. Crystal Maid makes up for that.
Easy counter for mech nerf.
Easy counter for the mech nerf. Oh my. I don't know if you can really counter a nerf, per se, but it is a solution, that's for sure. Void now banned by Alliance. And they just don't want to deal with... Well, actually, both heroes synergize very well with the Chronosphere. So
Yeah, that's something
it's
that...
a good ban.
It is a very good ban. They have actually tried to use Bristleback to power through Faceless Void, but pretty much if Faceless Void catches Bristle and he's facing forward, the hero's just useless.
Yeah, and if he gets Mystic Flare, that Vanguard or Bristleback is not going to save you.
Vanguard's not going to save you.
Definitely not the Vanguard save.
So I don't know if Compass is going to do anything different this game. With Death Prophet and Skyrath, it is very, very open-ended. They have double silence for heavy gank potential. They have the push with Death Prophet. They have heavy gank. They have heavy burst. It's just all around a strong opener.
I do want to mention, by the way, that Chessie is not playing right now. He's still recovering with his injured back. So they are using Smokeleg as a stand-in.
Who's going mid then?
I'm not actually sure what the roles are right now.
Smokeleg.
Didn't they use someone else as a stand-in the other day?
Well,
I don't think it was
at ESL they use Honey.
Yeah, that's right. ESL they use Honey. Now they're using Smokeleg. He's one of those, like, always in the mix, but has never really found a home players in Europe.
I think he can play a mid, but his strength isn't as a mid player. But I've actually seen some decent performances from him.
Okay.
Mid.
I mean, if they run like a... Well, I was going to say if they run a Naga mid, but that's actually banned, then maybe he's not in that role. But that's not going to happen, and it probably looks like a Bulldog Bristleback. Generally, we see that here on the off lane. There's an Anti-Mage out there, but no Magnus to join it.
You know, I actually think this is a deny pick. From
this Venge?
Yeah, because firstly it synergizes very well with Bristleback with a lot of the minus armor and Bristleback doing almost all physical damage, if not all. And then it's also a very nice aggressive combination with Crystal Maiden, too. And it can also save people from Skyrath ulti if they have another lockdown. So it's not terribly uncommon for people to run Skyrath and Venge together, but I think that Crystal Maiden and Venge would have been a little bit better for Alliance than Venge and Skyrath for Compass. But still, excellent pick overall.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very strong dual roaming duo. It's something that Navi was doing a lot when the new patch hit. They loved their Venge Skyrath Mage duo. Although we don't really see as much dual roam lately, but there's that potential with this combo. We have seen a little core Venge here and there as well. Havost was playing it. Navi's kind of lost faith in it, I guess you would say.
It's not that strong.
But it's always a possibility, if nothing else.
And on Alliance, Weaver. So Weaver means that there's no like true traditional 4 protect one, which is kind of nice to see them running something a little bit different. But Weaver versus double silence, and a lot of people just straight up do not ever pick Weaver versus Skyrath just because of the ancient seal. But if you have like a nice support like an Abaddon with Weaver, then things can be a little bit different.
Yeah, they're going to go for a gyro here on Compass Gaming as well. Interesting pickup, and technically here that can be a support, but probably looks like a core with the way this is developed. We normally have seen gyro in conjunction with a Void, just to set up the Chronosphere ultimate combo. It wasn't really changed that much in the latest patch, just Homie Missile got a bit more damage at all levels for the max damage cap. But
Gyrocopter is nice here. I remember when Bristle was one of the most popular offlaners, people would pick Gyro a lot because he can actually just straight kill the Bristleback in lane very early. So Abaddon, this pick is fairly obvious, I'd say, because Weaver is just going to get absolutely murdered by these by the two Compass silences unless they have something to save him from it. So they might run dual lanes with this actually.
And now the Abaddon. So a great solution here to a lot of spells from Compass. Very strong defensive support, makes your Bristleback a super back, and well, buffs up the Weaver quite a bit as well.
It's a decent Skyrath counter, I'd say, but the Death Prophet's in the game, which means her silence is going to prove to be a huge problem for Abaddon because he's short range and the AoE on silence is just massive. So Abaddon has to be fantastic about his positioning.
Needs a Blink Dagger or Staff.
Or Bristleback and Weaver just need to cause enough havoc in the fights that they're going to silence them early too. So
it's basically a 0-stun draft from Alliance. They have Frostbite. That's it. That's generally quite unusual. Well, I mean, not for Alliance, but just for most teams. If anyone likes the 0-stun draft, though, it probably is this Alliance squad. And they'll get the Bulldog Druid, so it's going to be I guess, what is it, a Weaver mid?
I assume whoever Smogolik's playing is gonna
Maybe
be mid.
Bulldog even goes mid.
Let's see. Who's it gonna be?
Well, Loda Weaver should be a small,
Smogolik Bristle mid?
or maybe they switch their roles on their supports? No, I guess not.
It's what versus the Death Prophet. Bristleback's decent versus Death Prophet in mid, but he is still highly susceptible to the ganks from Skywrath and Venge. So no hero is really safe from that, aside from I mean Weaver with awesome reaction times.
Well, picks are complete. It's a Gorak Timbersaw that rounded things out for Compass, so a lineup with mass AoE, tons of damage potential. And for them, it's, I guess, a question of how this laning stage develops, because I look at their team in the mid game as being very scary, at least in clashes. Alliance, more of your split push style draft. They've got the Weaver, the Lone Druid to spread the map, pick off towers, and KPG they have good lockdown for the Weaver,
But
until he gets the Lincoln.
KPG can't get past Alliance's front line, though. You have to deal with the Bear and the Bristle, and they have zero Blink Dagger heroes. Maybe Skywrath, but that's a long shot, and maybe Timbersaw later, but they don't have any Blink, like, let's say, a Saiyan King or something traditional that can just bypass that and go for the super weak, like Crystal Maiden or Abaddon or even the Lone Druid hero himself. So, I don't know. If they get sufficiently tanky on Bristle and sufficient farm on Admiral Bulldog, then it might be fairly difficult for them to get all that damage into the fight.
All right, well, we'll have a quick pause here. We can run through our lineups for KPG. This is their fourth match of the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We've got Gorak playing your Timbersaw, PSM, the Skywrath Mage, that puts Alpha Ninja onto the Death Prophet Arts, your Gyrocopter, and that leaves Goddamn as the Vengeful Spirit. On the side of Alliance, Smogolik playing your Bristleback, Bolddongarino will be handling your Lone Druid, using the Red Panda. It's okay. We've got Ake on the Abaddon. Loda will be playing the Weaver, and that does leave Misery with the Crystal Maiden.
I like the Panda one a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about this.
It's a 8.
It's a red bear.
It's second to the Panda, maybe.
I don't mind the bear so much, but the hero looks really crappy compared to the panda. When he goes into bear form. Well, crappy's a strong word, but I don't like it as much.
Do you remember that other Lone Druid set? It's like big and white. He looks like a mud golem.
Oh yeah, that one's really ugly.
That one's so I was streaming and I saw some guy with set. And I was like, man, that is one of the ugliest sets I have ever seen. And then one of the guys that
abandons the game. I can't be seen in the same game.
And then I had like a design contest for for the shirt. And then one of the guys submitted something, and he was actually the creator of it. So he was on my friends list. And he's like, "That's my set." And then I was like,
I didn't really mean that.
I was like,
how'd you get out of that one?
I was just like, well, I mean, what said has been said. I can't back out of that.
Uh-oh, we're gonna have a bloodbath here very early on. It looks like
Loda's the worst target,
gang.
though.
Oh, did he see it though?
Yeah,
oh,
saw it.
Just saw it. Things come out.
He's like,
That could have been big. Timing was just right for Loda. If he's like a half second later and this Venge is already sitting here, he probably just flat out dies to that. They even had the sentries ready to go.
yeah, it's really difficult for them to catch, though. They have to drop a sentry and magic missile before he leaves the range, or they have to silence him before, and he has to skill it up really, really quickly. So that's a very difficult kill to pull off, unless he walks uphill into them. But he scouted it out in time. No bloodbath.
I thought
yet.
they were just one to ward the Ancients for the Bristleback or something, but I guess just looking for a first blood. They're not even going to bother having been spotted out, and instead they're going to go aggressive tri-lane. Very potent tri-lane here. You've got great initiation, tons of burst damage, and, well, not a lane you really want to fight against aggressively, but they do have this Abaddon, and...
Yeah, they want to pair the Abaddon Bristle versus the tri-lane. That is...
Yeah, don't want the Weaver there.
Well, they can put the Weaver there as long as Abaddon's there. But whatever the tri-lane goes, wherever the tri-lane goes, rather, Abaddon needs to be there.
KPG will drop down their sentry to block the camp, the Observer to get them great vision around it, and we're going to end up seeing the Bulldog Lone Druid mid. So, as suggested, it was a possibility. We'll see how he last hits against this Death Prophet, who has gone for the early null tally. So, should be pretty much a farm fest mid. Let's see our other lanes.
Why didn't they put Loda mid and Lone Druid off lane? Like, I don't think Timbersaw is that great versus Lone Druid. It's not terrible, but it's not fantastic. And Weaver is a much better bottle hero, and runes are more important this patch than last patch. And he actually has much better room control too. He has AoE, he has a super high move speed, he has a spammable spell.
Well, Weaver does have the, or Lunger does have the bear to check them. But can't really use them the same way, that's for sure. Mongol League does take a lot of harassment. The shield will keep him safe. Yeah, it is interesting. I guess they're expecting maybe KPG to just be going aggressive early on and not really ganky mid at all. That's another possibility.
Yeah, but even so, like they're much less likely to gank top than mid, and Weaver's much safer in the mid lane than Lone Druid. But not that big of a deal, especially if none of the heroes move around and everything's gonna be. They have their hands full in the bottom lane with this tri lane.
Yeah, it does still give them a pretty good matchup for Lodo top lane. Can't really harass, but is going to be able to farm fairly well here. And will certainly get his levels.
He has Hoeing Missile on the Gyrocopter. Not a terribly common level 2 pickup, especially for Bristle, because very rarely will you be hitting him.
Very annoying for Weaver now, though, I will say. Like,
Yes.
with it hitting invis units, you see the missile coming, and you basically have to back all the way.
But come on, it's Hoeing Missile.
Dude, it's really annoying.
It does a lot of damage, but you have to invest like 4 skill points into it for it to do that much damage. And Gyro already does like a ton of damage anyways.
The stun's pretty damn good, though. They do
true.
have this Abaddon, which hopefully will negate it.
If you're in like melee range, I think does like nothing though. It is just beyond useless.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he's forced to run, I guess, is the main question. For now, Lone Druid doing well mid, Death Prophet doing well, so pretty even trade there. And your off-lane Loda struggling a bit more against this Timbersaw. He's used his salve already, running pretty low on regen. We're going to have a clash here at the top rune. This could be trouble for Appa Ninja. Ace Turn picked up by Misery is already level 3 and goes in with the Nova. Frostbite's going to follow this up. Could well be the first blood. There's no level 5 yet on the Lone Druid, but gets the body block off pretty good from Bulldog. And I think it'll be enough. Into the trees, Appa Ninja goes. The Red Bear strikes first. And now they want to make a go on bottom, having seen this. But there's an Abaddon waiting. They just shield him, and a concussive shot through this. They're still going to dive Smoke. They may end up getting this kill. Rocket Barrage cooling down. Do they commit? They'll leave the homie miss out there. He walks back in, takes another nuke. It's just not enough to kill him off.
He's a Bristleback.
And now the Crystal Maiden's coming top.
Skywrath almost died at that.
Did I say Ake? It's Misery on the Crystal Maiden. I think I'm just so used to seeing the Ake CM. Yeah, but yeah, Misery making good early movements, and now heading towards the top lane.
Yeah, very good movement by Misery. I mean, he's a much better aggressive player, I think, than Aki, and Aki's a much better defensive player.
Well, perfect synergy with their heroes then, huh? It's like it was meant to be.
Well, Afro Ninja, they had Observer Ward, so they know that Crystal Maiden is up in the area if they were paying attention.
And Misery even drops an Observer, maybe hoping to, well, I guess more than anything, just trying to protect this Bulldog. Because this courier, well, it could have been upgraded, but it hasn't been yet.
Uh-oh, they're going for a kill on her.
4 minutes in, it is nighttime, and now they're going to jump. They have a Frostbite ready. Bulldog now has access to the root, and he'll get the root. Don't think he needed it, but just to make the kill a bit easier.
These supports have to do something now. They're coming under pressure from their mid laners. Like, well, you guys aren't winning bottom. Why am I just getting constantly destroyed in mid, and you guys aren't doing anything? So I think they should probably just rotate off, have Gyrocopter solo bottom. I don't really think they have too much kill potential on them, especially if Gyrocopter gets a TP scroll, and he's very fast. So now you'll see the support movement. This was a necessary thing. They probably should have done after the first kill, to be honest.
I want to point out this Crystal Maiden's level progression has been really impressive for Misery. That change to Frostbite seems to be making a big difference in terms of how quickly you can jungle. He's already level 4, and that's with early rotations. He killed off 2 big creeps here earlier, as you can see from the remnants. He left the least appetizing parts of that camp. But they're going to make their way back towards bottom. Compass Gaming just not content to try and force the issue mid, and maybe they can't get that kill anymore. Bulldog's now level 6. He can be very tanky.
Yeah, it's a little obvious because just the bottom.
Shield's going to come in. Rocket Barrage will follow this up, but it's split between Ake and Smogolik. Great defensive support play from him, and well, they nearly die trying to dive that tower. They get nothing. This Abaddon Bristle it's working absolutely perfectly. They're just bend but don't break defense and not giving up anything.
They're also out of regen in this lane too. Look at the Gyrocopter. He's at like 200 HP. Out of tangos, out of salves, nothing going their way. Misery making it around the same way again, and they finally see him with those, or they ping out. Looks like Appa Ninja might want to go for a kill on him though. That's
his
aggressive.
boots. He does have his Crystal Nova if need be. Maybe forced to throw it as Appa Ninja's starting to lay into him. Doesn't have the phase boots though. And that's already Tranquil Boots online for your Crystal Maiden. 6 minutes in, level 4, nearly 5. Bulldog, free farming mid. You're in the off lane. The Weaver is having a bit of a tougher time, but still doing well against the Timbersaw. And, well, Bristleback's not dying. So everything going pretty well here for Alliance with those 2 kills on the board already.
Yeah, and on the top lane, Timbersaw, who was having a pretty good time, he is #1 leader in CS. He still has to fear for this Crystal Maiden, though, and just can't play completely safe.
The one thing I like about the Timbersaw pick is something I mentioned before the 5th pick, which is there's really no stuns on Alliance. All they have is Root and Frostbite, so I feel like a Timbersaw could snowball out of control very easily this game if Alliance isn't careful.
Yes, but he doesn't have that great of targets. It's very difficult to burst down a Bristleback. The Lone Druid is usually in a pretty good position, and Timbersaw can't really get to him. Crystal Maiden is a fantastic target too, but she's often in the back, and Abaddon is Abaddon. And Weaver, I mean, also has very highly defensive capabilities too. So yes, he can do a lot of damage, but can he actually kill people with the damage? I don't think so. Not without help.
Yeah, that could be trickier, and a lot of it comes down to these supports who unfortunately are low level. There's a Root mid. This is trouble for Alpha Ninja. Now the Crystal Nova to follow up. They keep Vision with the Bear. They'll Frostbite him in position, and he will go down again, or will he? Bear needs to get that last hit off, but he's already retreated. 300 gold fed away by the Bulldog, and Misery just didn't want to risk giving up his own life, but could have gone for that killing auto attack.
Got to risk it for the biscuit, man. He should have. I thought that the Death Prophet was dead to rights.
Yeah, they thought they had it and could get out, but they just slightly underestimated how tanky the Death Prophet is. That's costly, though. You give up 300 gold, and is it still 300 experience, or did they change that?
I still think it's pretty high experience. I think, personally, it should scale, but the TP reaction from Compos was extremely slow, too. It took, like, maybe 3.5 seconds for them to TP in. Start TP in, rather.
Bottom lane. See a go here on Ake. This could be an easy pickoff for KPG. He doesn't manage to get the shield off. Now he does. He goes for the TP. That ain't going to happen. PSM and Goddamn combined to find the kill. While Alpha Ninja, this might be another death. Well, I say another death. He actually barely lived last time, but it's certainly another gank on him. And this time he's probably going down. Root's here. They're even bringing in the reinforcements. The Bug joins the Bear. And together they take down the Ghoul. KPG, 1-3 so far. Under a lot of early pressure in this game. Is there going to be a Root mid on Goddamn? Oh, no Root. Bulldog, give me a Root. He says, give me that Root. I need this Root. Still not getting it. But he's almost managed to corral him in with the body blocks. Ring around the Rosie in the mid lane. Still no Roots. God damn, he just can't buy one. Bulldog has ult ready. He's not popping it. He's just running around in, well, human form and nearly paying for this. Gorik has another chakram. Gets the kill on the Lone Druid. Surprised he didn't transform sooner there.
And his Bear's down, too.
Yeah, no Bear for 55 seconds. He's your leader in net worth, but I suppose not for longer.
That is the bad luck Red Paw. That is not good for sales. Man,
really
he hit him.
That was at least 7
times?
or 8 times, yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, he could have lived had he transformed sooner. Or at least would have been much harder to kill. And Ake does have a TP as well, so he's available to join this mid lane if they feel it's necessary, but he can't really help Bulldog when Bulldog's
Trying to
driving.
backstab Ake here. They know he's there.
Don't worry, I'm there. I got you. Smoke League chasing out PSM. Courier's also ready. And, well, now they go on Ake instead. That's the ideal target to bring down. Can't shield your buddy if you're silenced and dead. But he's not dead. He'll shield. He can... Oh, I don't know. This rocket might do him in. They gotta kill it! No, he's still alive for the time being, but this will allow KPG to get close. The self-deny. Good plays from Ake with the throwing out the heal offensively. A Smoke League will fall. The bottom lane in a bit of trouble. And they even bring in the Death Prophet additionally. Scarth Mage actually, I think he died to a tower shot on the way out.
Where are the TP reactions? Misery, I mean, I thought he was just going to TP in and clean up. They were just diving so deep in.
Oh, he's rotated in now, but the damage is done. The tower's going to fall. Instead, Loda and Bulldog team up mid to take the tier 1, but it's just a tier 1 trade. Which, considering the way this game began for Alliance, doesn't feel like a great trade for them.
It's not a trade.
And it's not a full trade either. They only get half damage on this. Attempted trade.
Decent Midas timing.
But the one issue, I guess, Ben, is you look at this draft of Alliance, you run a Lone Druid Weaver as 2 of your cores. Weaver is decent at counter ganky, but Lone Druid offers you nothing there, so it's really up to Misery to be all over the place.
Yeah, it is up to Misery, and he did a great job of shutting down the Death Prophet in mid, but he has to do a better job of protecting the Bristleback.
He did a great job of accepting his fate bottom lane, and they have a magic missile for Loda, but he manages to time lapse out. They're waiting for him with the Sentry Ward detection, but just don't have the burst. So now he goes back in onto PSM. Goddamn's there to body block him out. Loda runs a bit around in circles. They don't have a Rocket Barrage. TP attempted. Where's that root? Where's that root? No root for Bulldog. He just can't buy a root. Come on. Give him an entangle. Doesn't matter this time, but jeez. Bulldog didn't. He must have not paid his taxes to the bear or something, you know?
And with that death, Skywrath actually isn't going to be able to get boots for a few more minutes. He had 380. He bought a circlet and a mantle. And, I mean, he's just going to be food, too, for Weaver, for Bristle, for Lone Druid, if he continues at this pace.
How often do we see a Skywrath with no boots at 11.5 minutes?
They didn't really have any successful ganks until, like, the 10-minute mark when they tower dove on bottom very heavily.
Yeah, Venge has boots and a magic stick. 750 gold. I mean, honestly, she should probably be the one buying the wards right now. Like, so your Skywrath can at least get his boots out.
Well, getting medallions not that bad of an idea, and
They could sneak a road.
there could be you could try the strat where Skywrath just doesn't get boost the whole game since he has 325 base. It's not bad. It's okay.
Not bad, but I mean, you look at a rabid bear with potentially phase boots.
that's
You're not
true.
running from that. Not to mention the Bristle boss.
Best support doesn't need boots.
Yeah, so selfless. It's really. It used to be like you could get away with that, right? In some of the older patches, but you really can't have a feeding support that nowadays. It's just too costly.
Easy drums rush.
And drums? What are you talking about, Bubba?
Drums rush skip
This guy's
boots.
got 170 gold, and he's building a null tally. When are drums fitting into the picture? It's like talking about getting a Ferrari when you can't even make the payments on your Corolla. Well, Alliance will move towards the mid lane with Ake. He's just going to protect Bulldog. They try to make a go on Small Gully's now off lane Bristleback, who it's going for the Tranquil Boots here. Just some sustain in the lane, but not going to help him against this level of burst. Gorak dunks him with that amazing Timber Chain in. Just absolutely rips him a new one.
Well, that's nice for Skywrath gold.
But we do see the power of this KPG lineup against the Bristleback. If they get the silence off and the Timbersaw jumps in, he is absolutely food.
Yeah, that one death on bottom was really just overwhelmingly painful for Alliance. It could have been solved easily too by TP. It's not like Compass like really outplayed them. It was just Alliance poorly reacting to it, and they lost a tower in the meantime too. So that has already set the ball in motion for some bad things to happen for Bristleback later on.
KPG did smoke, but they kind of just give it away mid for 0 gain. They do usher off Alliance for the time being, but he supports not having the best of times. They'll jump in and try to gank the bear. But not really too much they can do to finish it off. But man, that is a fast friggin' Bloodstone for Gorak. Look at that. 13.5 minutes. As we saw, you mentioned, and I think it's a fair point, if Alliance position well, it's tough for Timbersaw to jump them, but if they get out of position, Gorak can go to town.
He's way too far.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. 81 CS. I mean, Loda was dual laning mid for like 3 minutes when they were trying to push that tower and gank, so he's basically had an empty lane. And now they're going to lose, goddamn. Caught out in the river. No, can maybe defensive swap? Nope, not going to bother. Probably would have been a 2-0 still. We'll just let him die, and they look for a route mid. 1, 2, 3. Let's just count how many times Bulldog's going to fail on this route. 4. Can we get a 5? Can we get a 5? Can we get a 6? No, he just gives up.
Poor guy.
Ice Frog nerfed Lone Druid, man. He changed that Entangle proc chance to 1% for Bulldog only. He's saying learn new heroes, man.
He hit Timbersaw too. Man.
That's rough.
So Gyro will be going the HOD and Ancient stacking build. It's only at 2 stacks right now.
My only worry about running this Gyro Timber is they don't have the Chronosphere, the Magnus RP. They don't really have that great AoE setup spell. And Alliance are pretty damn mobile. The bear is fast. Bristleback usually is, and Weaver, if he's not silenced, is as well. And Alliance have gone for a double Midas. Bulldog picked his up, I believe, about 5-6 minutes ago or so, and Loda's now gone back for one as well. And it's going to be Mass Midas, Misery Gaming. How appropriate. The guy who pioneered Midas Gaming is bringing it back for Alliance here.
I think it's fine here.
Do you think the Midas Gaming is the way to go?
Well, there's no blinks and there's only one heavy pusher on Compass, so they can't really force Alliance to defend at T1s even. I mean, unless they like catch him out of positioning or they try and trade for split pushing or, you know, you just have a terrible trade to begin with. But in terms of straight 5-on-5s, they can just delay with like the bear and Bristleback just running up in front with the shield on him, and Compass can't really take it. So they can definitely like push the game to 30 minutes plus without losing too many towers, and by that time the Midases will pay off. And on top of that, they have to wait for the Lone Druid's items to kick in. Usually Radiance looks like this game he's going to go for a Maelstrom, but Lone Druid isn't that effective with just a Midas or even just a 2,000 gold item in Midas.
Lucky for Small Gully. Goddamn was looking for the swap, and he's going to walk back into it. This almost happened once. The second time it will. Although there is reinforcements coming through. Ake with the shield. They're going to commit pretty heavily. A nice call down from Art secures that kill while Loda TP's in. But there's detection for him, and he nearly dies to a rocket barrage. He can't time-lapse or go back to the other lane. Now he could, but, well, Gorak gets aggressive. And single-handedly, he zones the rest of them out. While that's happening, Alliance will smoke. They did manage to take the tier 1 mid during this time. Medallion now complete as Gorak will casually retreat. He's going to be rushing the Ags next, it looks like. Point booster picked up. This is going to be a very big Timbersaw. But Alliance are farming on all 3 of their cores now. Ruh-roh. Well, if I say they're 3 cores, I'm kind of calling the TM1 at this point. The Bristleback's not getting done. Nice ultimate for Misery. Or rather, nice Frostbite, an abortive ultimate from him. But they still get the kill. And finally, a root. But Bulldog just... He's not even focusing the Skywrath. Probably wasn't even expecting one. As Gorak gets aggressive. Where's the backup for him? He could single-handedly kill 3 heroes, perhaps. He goes in again with the Chakram. They get a root when they need it. Another Timber Chain through. He's going to have a Chakram soon. Bulldog's got to juke this. He's trying. Backup's arriving, though, as Affa Ninja storms into the fight. Gorak able to Timber Chain away. One more auto tech. They get the kill. Oh my goodness, this Timbersaw is way too fat, Loda. Chasing, but now out of mana. Can't even Sakuchi again. He jumps back in. There was a stun from Goddamn. It prompts the ultimate from the Abaddon. Now they can swap Loda. He doesn't have mana. He's out of range for a shield, and Loda's going to end up going down here. Gets absolutely eviscerated by that Timbersaw. Again, the big plays. Suddenly, both cores of KPG on top by a slight margin, which, considering the number of Midases they're up against, is pretty impressive.
It was a good smoke gank in the sense that Compass would not see that one coming. They could have just gotten the gyro and get out, but Compass too fast with the response, and Bulldog not as lucky with the roots as he could be. Poor guy.
Yeah, that fight he was okay.
That fight he was okay.
Yeah, overall he's not been very lucky. And you gotta expect Compass is gonna make a maneuver towards Roche soon, and then I really don't see Alliance fighting there too effectively.
Well,
they don't have their core items.
They had a good exchange there. They traded DP Ultimate and their T1 tower for a T1 tower in Smolgalig, which is, I think, pretty good. And then they try to get more out of it or put pressure in other ways, and it's not like Compass can proceed without the Death Prophet ultimate.
Look for the jump on mid. Smolgalig, the shield was there, but it's not going to be enough with this follow-up damage from Gorak. Then he continues chase, call down, used to zone Alliance off. Oh, maybe he's got too aggressive. Bloodstone denied, nicely done. He'll make his way out without giving up any gold or experience as PSM also retreats. This Timbersaw is coming back soon, but it seems not soon enough. Alliance have the death ball going. 5 heroes and a bear parading after Arts, who is no longer as a cooldown for this fight. But they wait with Affa Ninja on the high ground. They've now got their Timbersaw rejoining the fight. Maybe Alliance aren't counting on this. This could be trouble for them. This Chakram comes in, completely shreds one, and they look for more. The Timber Chain barely misses for Gorak. Still, he's going to chase. Bulldog has a TP. Do they have any way to cancel this? No, they do not. They still get the kill. The burst damage is there. That was Bulldog on like a 3rd HP. Well, meanwhile, Loda was chasing all the way up north, but they do end up losing 2 of their cores again. And another death for Bulldog. 5 and 3, so not doing terribly. But
again, we see the same story. They could have gotten out with a very clean exchange. They killed the Timbersaw, although he did deny himself, and then they killed the Skywrath, and then they proceed way too deep into enemy territory, and their lineup is just not that strong right now. They have to wait for the minus to take, and they have to pick and choose their fights very, very carefully and disengage when the odds aren't looking right.
Alliance are doing a decent job of the split push, though. We saw earlier mid, they took the tier 1. They're doing it again now top. It's not flawless split push, like, which I feel there were games leading into what were the events? WCA. At WCA, they had some really good Rat Dota games, and I would also say at ESL, they didn't do great with it, but they had some games where Loda just went off as the split push and really made great decisions, but this has been a little bit sloppier, and I guess, do you think the stand-in factor
maybe
plays a role in it, or just KPG able to force the
Well,
fight?
KPG is also playing very well, too. The Timbersaw is doing... Oftentimes you see people get like 15 minutes of free farm and then do nothing, and Timbersaw is the complete opposite. He is just putting the pressure on Alliance, making them fight, and just absolutely destroying people with his well-executed burst. And Death Prophet too. She has an Atos now on top of Ayul's, and then they transition that small win in a team fight into a very, very swift Roshan too. So yeah, Compass are playing very well, making good decisions, making Alliance pay for their overextensions.
Well, Compass showing why they've been a threat at times in Starladder, and it looks like our cat wants to get out. She's getting fussy.
I'll deal with it.
Yeah, deal with that, Ben. Make yourself useful. It's of course it's always K-pop-tosis, this cat. She's always the one that's causing problems. Just want to say the black cat is the troublemaker. Seems to be a trend in my experience. Now she's running away from you. First they want in, then you want out. Yeah, get the hell out of here, you filthy animal. And Merlini angrily tried to curb stomp her on the way out. But we'll have a prolonged pause here so we can take status of the overall state of the game. It's dead even in net worth. Experience good in the way of Compass. Now, obviously, a lot of this net worth is concentrated in the Midases, the 3 Midases for Alliance. That's what? That's like 6,500 gold, roughly? 6,600? Something like that. So, yeah, a lot of their gold concentrated in Midas at this time. No, sorry, I guess it's 6,000, yeah, but it's a lot of gold. So they're quite a bit weaker when it comes to the engagements, and well, we're back underway now. The game resumes, and they jump in again on small goal. Like, Silence is there, Timber Chain through, another easy kill. This Timber Saw. You know, if
Use the mech, bro.
He's just... Oh, he did have a mech. I don't think it would have
mattered. Well, that's actually why Compass had a terrible engagement in between the mid T1 and T2, because they didn't expect the mech.
Yeah. But this Bloodstone pick up so early, I mean, we see the power there. He only had 8 charges and then 6 after he suicide. He still respawned extremely quickly. And was able to turn the fight
super
early.
fat.
Can they deal with him if he gets bad enough? Like, maybe late.
No. Not really. He can Timber Chain through absolutely anything that Alliance can throw at him, except maybe a Bash Leader. But they don't have any Orchids, they don't have any Silences, they don't have any true stuns either. And yeah, maybe they can deal with him, but he's gonna have a Scepter in like 2 minutes.
And if he gets
another Midas, woo!
Well, where 3 fails, 4 may succeed. That's the game plan here for Alliance. They just don't really have the right draft to fully take advantage of these. I mean, not to say that Midas always has its value even on supports just for the levels, but the gold on a Crystal Maiden and a Abaddon. Well, what are you gonna get? 4 staff? Abaddon Ag?
Consider this. They're always going to be ahead of the Gyrocopter, though, or very close to ahead. Gyrocopter is actually number 5 right now, and this is with an HOD and Ancient Stacks and Roshan and Towers, too. So he's actually not that farmed, and he's going for a very unusual build in the Manta style post-HOD. A lot of people go for a straight damage item, like MKB. Manta style, useful to get out of Root and Frostbite, actually most people go for PKB afterwards, but not really sure where he's going with this Manta. I don't really think he needs more defensive abilities, just because Alliance did invest a lot in this Midas. They need to take advantage of the window where Midas is still weak, and it hasn't paid off. And on top of that, he has the Aegis, so he doesn't really need that much HP.
Yeah, that's around an 8,000 and change gold investment here for Alliance. So you look at the net worth, and it says the Dyer's leading by about 1,000. That's really, it's not fully a 9,000 gold lead, but especially on a CM and an Abaddon, they're not really benefiting from the attack speed, so it's pretty close.
120 attack speed, dude. 120%.
Oh my god!
That's like double damage.
Good luck right-clicking this game if you're CM. You're just running for your life at this point. And that's the unfortunate thing about the CM pick, is it gets to a certain stage, and what do you bring to the table compared to Avenge?
They're going high ground.
Only that big ult. Prophet ult still online. They've got about half duration left. Glyph no longer available. And you're right, Ben. They're committing. They're going to swap in Smoke like there's a secondary shield ready. Not going to matter. Once again, your Bristleback falls. And he did pop the mech before going down, but to what end? As the Gyrocopter ult flies through, it's up to the Bear to force them back. Load it into the front. With a BKB, he's pretty strong. The Bear stunned out. Won't be able to engage further, and the Timber Saw is zoning them back. They're going to lose this Bear if they're not careful. That's more gold into the pockets of Compass. Another 300 flushed down the drain. Bulldog does have a resummon, but now if the Bear dies again, it'll be dead for a minute plus. And well, another 800 and 900 gold swing in favor of Compass. Actually a completed Manta on Gyro. He is up against the Lone Druid, so this will be nice for the Entangle, but Generally not a great item on Gyrocopter outside of that.
Sacrifices were necessary to hold that T3 though, and Smogolig 1 and 6. I still contend that that T1 tower dive on bottom just sent him back so far, because after that he can like pick up a bracer or a cloak, whereas he wouldn't have had one before, and just keep surviving and surviving. And that's often just the best way to accrue money. It's just simply to not die, and Smogolig has not been following that mantra.
Yeah, to be fair, the early lane was difficult, but he didn't really die at that point. A lot of his deaths have come recently. And I think part of it's the Compass have drafted very well against the Bristleback. Well, they picked the Skywrath up quite early, but having the Skywrath and then going for Timbersaw as their 5th pick, that's a great hero to have against Lone Druid, against Bristleback in particular.
And I don't like the Tranquil pickup. He already has mech for the armor, and you're attacking a lot because Warpath gives you a lot of damage. I would personally prefer Treads just to give him more HP buffer, so he can do more damage with Coil Spray and have more time for Abaddon to heal him up.
Tranquils are pretty damn unusual in Bristleback.
It's decent when you're having a really tough lane though, so I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, and even though he's in the safe lane, their safe lane was basically their off lane with the amount of investment that Compass placed there.
And all the early work that Misery did to keep down the Death Prophet has been... Oh no.
We're looking for a go here top lane. Yule Scepter is pumped. They are bringing in the Weaver. Can Misery TP out in time? Not against PSM. Scarth Mage ult secures that kill and sets up the Mystic Flare nicely as Gorak will march in. Lotus going to come through with the BKB. And he will be strong against the Timbersaw.
They can't let him
But
push
the rest of them,
though.
not so much. The double Chakram forces off the BKB. Now what's Loda going to get with this? They stun the bear. Maybe he gets a goddamn kill. Has a swap. Gorak, you take the bullet for me, buddy. As they will stack up their active armor charges. The double Chakram again thrown out onto the bear. Bringing it down below half. It's now going to turn tail and run. And this BKB for Loda, it helps him to survive, but it doesn't really let him get kills.
Alliance can't even fight 3v4.
They can't fight the Timber. He's got 10 Bloodstone charges. BOT is about to come out if he wants them. Hearts now can work towards his first real damage item if he so chooses, and your Death Prophet's getting close to her next. The 3 cores of KPG all topping the charts together. They're going to push in. Well, I mentioned Compass could upset Na'Vi. They didn't do that, but they're looking like they may. I wouldn't even call it a huge upset because they have looked strong in Star Ladders thus far, but they're going to shred the bear. Exorcism combines with the double Chakram. This bear's just flat out useless. It gets nothing done in these fights. Needs like multiple bashes or something. Gorak, can he Timber Chain out? Yeah, no bash there right as he goes for the Timber Chain. So that's not going to happen. They do force them back for now. A call down. Pretty much just off the mark, but double Chakram again thrown out as Smogoli continues to try and get some goo in the face of KPG. Tier 3 is down though, and they're going to try to slow roll this and back off. There's a stun on the Gorak. They'll need multiple bashes here. This could be the second death of the bear. It's already going to be down for 90 seconds if it falls. Smogoli getting through the front. Mystic Flare. That'll finish the job. And then Loda tanks the stun. Is there a shield for Aki? He's got no mana for it. They end up losing, well, not quite losing the Weaver. He's able to time-lapse out of this one and rejoin the fight. And now they chase forward. Oh, he was so close to getting that kill. Another nuke from the Death Prophet. A great turn for Alliance as they end up bringing down 4. They almost lost everything there if the Weaver falls, but barely able to live.
Oh,
and a big Crystal Maiden ult for Misery. That did a lot of damage to Compass.
They used him when he was about to die. He had like 100 HP and then he BKB'd in
Okay,
time
he
lapse.
actually did 5,000 damage with that ult. I was like, man, there's a lot of AoE in this fight. I did not realize that. You see that? Holy crap.
Yeah, he owned.
Yeah. Well, don't underestimate the CM. Misery with the Blink Dagger pickup, doing work.
Good job, Midases. Well, that was pretty much the hardest push that they're probably going to have to face for next 15, 20 minutes. Actually, maybe with the next ages. But Compass, they have to be feeling like, oh, are we actually going to be able to beat them before their Midases make them
Bulldog,
massive?
he's got no teleport scroll, and Gorak's going to dive pretty deep here. He'll definitely get the, well, will he get the bear? Timber Chain off the mark, maybe not. Oh, thought he would at least have that, but now he's chased out a bit by the Weaver. Brought a Chakram, forcing Loda back.
They have the Basher to somewhat control the Timber, too, so he can't just run around in their face.
If they get the Bash luck, that can turn things. But they haven't been really that lucky, even with the Basher. They got one, but it wasn't like right as he's trying to chain out.
So Roshan number 2 respawning soon. Compass just want to get the Roshan and want to just storm down bottom lane where there is no T3 tower anymore and at least get themselves a Rax.
The Ninja has a Yule Scepter. He's going to need to use it soon. Trading out. Teleport comes in from the Timbersaw and not able to kill off that catapult in time. Now jumps onto Misery. Crystal Nova this one, he says. Freezing Field this one, he says. Oh, Blink it out instead. Misery will escape.
He had another Chakram. He only used one.
You're right. He only used the first one. Well,
Oh,
I guess he wasn't counting on.
Why are they going mid? They should be going bottom. I guess it's not that big of a deal.
There's a glyph up for Alliance. This could be a big deal. Having the tower up for some extra time. Double shock from still zoning out the bear. There's a respawn ready this fight. As Misery wraps around with a Crystal Nova. They'll lose their tower. KPG trying to brute force their way into Alliance. Desolator's up though in the Weaver. This could be like 4 or 5 heroes dead if KPG aren't careful. They definitely want to kill off the Swarm here. Be careful about how you engage. Do not overextend if you're Compass, or you may be feeding low to 4 or 5 kills. For now, it's Smokeling who falls again. He'll drop. This time Misery doesn't get off the big ultimate. Only a few seconds channeled on that as the bear may fall. They'll lose still. They'll lose still their gyrocopter. Gorek forced to retreat out. He's pretty low on mana here. He's got a Timber Chain, has a teleport. Will he retreat? Nope. Nope, that's a bash on Appa Ninja. And trouble mounts. They really got to get the hell out quickly. Appa Ninja worming his way through the trees. Does have a Yule Scepter, Phase Boots already. But there's a shield on Loda right now, and he gets confident in his aggression. Chasing deep. He knows they got to make things happen with this. Meanwhile, PSM trying to TP out. He'll fall. Gotten rooted. And that is a gem down. Nobody picking that one up just yet on Alliance.
It actually did make a difference, them going for the tower instead of going for bottom.
They would have gotten Rex for sure.
They would have gotten Rex. Still, very nice by Alliance holding that Misery, trying to go in for that Blink ult. He still did some damage. It was aight. I thought that Compass was going to wait for the Roshan. That would just be much safer for them. Because Gyrocopter died early on in that fight due to a Maelstrom proc. And they all just had to turn tail and run immediately afterwards. If they have the Aegis, they can stay, make better use of the duration of the exorcism, and get a Rax if they proceeded about it the right way.
By the way, I don't think they saw the gem, because
yeah, I don't think so.
The Dark Courier has been able to rescue it. That is Dusky? Huh? Oh, it just switched. I forgot about the Courier morph. I was like, wait, that's not the Courier I was looking at before. But they're still going to go into the Roach Pit here, and although Alliance have had some nice fights, they still trail in gold. Experience is even, but they're exposed in 2 lanes of Rax against a Death Prophet. Then one more bad fight, they could just get 2 Rax and just flat out lose.
Yes.
You gotta be careful.
Yes, they do. AC almost up on Admiral Bulldog. It's useful.
Is it though? There's so much magic damage. I mean, there is Death Prophet, but there's just so
Oh, it's
much
useful so
nuke.
they can actually kill Compass.
Oh, that's true. Offensively, it is.
They have the Goo, they have the Desolator up on Weaver, the Swarm,
Okay,
and
this
AC. They have a lot of minus armor.
this one could be the game winner for Misery. He gets a BKB. One way to cancel this ulti, and that's gonna be the swap.
And they usually swap Smoggle again.
Yeah, they've been using it very offensively. Misery, his timing had to be right for the early ultimate, but
That's pretty good timing for Midas Blink BKB, considering how much pressure his team has been under.
maybe Misery showing us that CM can be played as more of a carry if you get off those ults. Let's see. They're going to try to force their way in. There's no glyph available. They got to engage quickly unless they want to lose Rax. The missile will slow down the bear. The double chakram goes onto it as well. Big commitment. Say goodbye to your red panda. And now they're in trouble. Forced out. Bulldog's going to charge in. He'll pay. Does he have a buyback ready? No, nothing available. And it seems they may just end up losing the fight. Misery tried to get off his ultimate. Didn't really do too much.
He got his blink canceled by the flat.
Okay.
And didn't get a good positioning off. I think that's actually game losing. Not that it's necessarily.
If your draft is that dependent on a Crystal Maiden ultimate, then I think you might have just got outplayed. Alliance being forced back to the well now. And this could well be 2 lanes of Rax. The Scarf Mage will fall to the tower. Slight overextension. Gem hitting the deck, and the Alliance look to turn this one. They still have no Lone Druid. They've got no AoE, and Rax are going to go down. Smogolig nearly finished off by this Timber Saw. Oh my goodness, Gorek is out of control right now. He's 7-0 and 5, or 7-2 and 5. Make it 8-2 and 5. 17,000 net worth, a triple kill for the Timberman, the Tree Killer, beating down the Armadillo, and it's a full team wipe for Compass. They pretty much have Alliance out of this game.
That is game. So
GG.
Yeah, a few things went wrong for them. Firstly, they missed like a couple of early kills that they could have gotten, like one on the Death Prophet. They had to rotate Weaver off the top lane. I still contend that they should have put Admiral Bulldog in the top lane and Weaver in mid, because Weaver can still pressure a Death Prophet. Not super easily, but still easily enough for a Roman Crystal Maiden to get the kills. And then maybe they went a little overkill on the Midases. I mean, they just didn't have that great of an early game anyways.
The other thing was I feel like this Venge Initiations actually did a lot of work for KPG.
Timbersaw
2-4 and 14.
Timbersaw just massacred them, though. Like, I'm pretty sure his hero damage was just out of control.
And that was not a good Bristleback game. That's for damn sure, man. He really
Yeah,
struggled
I mean,
there.
they just had a few mistakes. So first the laning, then the tower dive on bottom, and then in mid, like Bulldog not getting into roots, that's not necessarily his fault, but him dying for it, and, you know, all these small things add up.
Yeah, the mid lane where he didn't transform sooner, and then also, to be fair, missed like 8
Yeah,
root
poor guy.
attempts in a row.
The game would have been a lot different had that happened, though, because
Yeah.
Ven or Death Prophet just got way too big, too. Usually they can try and burst her down a little bit more
Well,
easily.
Compass Gaming 3-1, Alliance 0-1 to start the day. We've got one more match coming up. I thought it was scheduled for a lot later today, but I think the schedule might have been adjusted so it comes right away. I thought we had one more game. It's not showing up here on the calendar. Let's see. I believe it's going to be Navi versus Fnatic. I'm not sure on the time though, but we'll try and find out for you guys as soon as possible. So anyway, thanks for watching the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We'll be, hopefully, right back.
You got spare game codes or any digital goods? There is a place you can sell them in less than 1 minute. Watch. Go to G2A.com. Click Start Selling. Fast login. Go to My Account and click on Selling tab. Sell new item. Enter name, code, set a price. And done. G2A.com Digital Marketplace. Global selling simplified.
Oh yeah, I did check the time, guys. It's gonna be a bit of a break here. We will have our next match at 20:30 CEST, so I'm just gonna leave the stream up just because I don't feel like having to restart it later. But yeah, we have a long break, so go do some other stuff, watch some other games. I'm sure there's lots of great Dota. I think Dream League's starting soon. If you want to check out the Good Studios production there. They do a great job. Let's see, anything else? Synergy League is ongoing. It's VP versus Album Sheets. And there's Dota Pit, EG versus 4ASC. So lots of other Dota to watch, but nothing here for a few hours. Anyway, enjoy the tunes in the meantime.
Biding time that you don't own. You leave me waiting all alone. Breaking words you said in fear. Promises that fell